Oh man, in this video, I'm gonna talk about 3 altcoins I must hold right now in the post-Bitcoin ETF era. I'm gonna break down exactly why 3 certain altcoins must be on my DCA and shopping list, and if I didn't hold them, I'd be missing out on huge potential gains. If you appreciate this type of content, even on a Sunday, smash up the likes, do not forget to subscribe, check out the links in the description to our Telegram community, where we share a bunch of alpha. Now take a look at Bitcoin here, guys. We know we're getting a bit of a pullback here. We've had a doji candle, right? This is called a doji candle this week, showing a bit of a tug and war going on between the bulls and the bears post the Bitcoin spot ETF. We know that hype has now started to dissipate to the downside, and now it's our job as investors to identify what is the next trend. And I'm going to share with you my analysis on what I think the next trend is going to be post this Bitcoin spot ETF. Now, by no means does this mean I think the Bitcoin spot ETF impact is over. I'm just going to explain where I think the outsized returns are going to be now that that speculation for Bitcoin is over. Now, of course, the Bitcoin spot ETF was a huge moment for crypto. We know that, but it's also set a precedent of what could be next. And so the first altcoin I'm going to talk about, which of course you guys know, is Ethereum, right? It would be hugely irresponsible, as you guys know, for me not to have enough Ethereum in my portfolio. And I made a video a couple of weeks ago saying, I do not hold enough of this altcoin. And I always feel that way with Ethereum. Anytime I think I have enough, I always underestimate it. I remember in previous cycles, when Ethereum gets running, it gets running. There's no stopping this thing. And there'll be talks of the flippening again. This will all come again. Will Ethereum flip the market cap of Bitcoin? Because Ethereum will go on a crazy run. Now, the other added spice to add on to the Ethereum narrative, apart from the fact that they've done their ETH 2.0, there's still huge use cases on Ethereum, there's still the de facto leading smart contract platform, is the ETF narrative. All the ETF hype has now passed on to Ethereum. Everybody is now wondering, when can we get an Ethereum spot ETF just like Bitcoin? Because now Bitcoin has set the narrative. Bitcoin has set the precedent that we can get crypto spot ETFs. So you're already starting to see institutions start lobbying for the Ethereum futures ETF, just like Bitcoin had their futures one first, and then you can start to switch over to see, can Ethereum get their spot ETF? Now, in a similar vein, there are a few other specific altcoins which I think could be in the running or could start having the debate of whether they deserve spot ETFs. And those are some of the other coins I want to be adding. I'm going to mention those exactly in this video. So if you take a look at Ethereum sitting here at 24.79, feels a bit expensive, right? Feels pretty expensive when in June of last year you could have been buying at 880. Yes, 880, guys. This is a token that ran up Ethereum as high as 4,800, knocking on the door 5,000, right? In November of 2021 to fall down below 1,000, and yet people didn't want to buy. Now you're sitting at 2,400, market's feeling a bit excited. And the question is going to be, how far can this go? Well, if I take a look at my Fibonacci extensions, you guys can see that even here conservatively, to get back to the Fibonacci golden pocket here on Ethereum brings you to that 34 to 3,500 level. And Ethereum already has worked its way very nicely here up towards its first level, worked towards its 50% level, and then eventually its golden pocket. But again, that's very basic. Do we not think Ethereum can at least get to all-time highs? I mean, all-time highs on Ethereum bring you up to that 4,800 level. But really, Fibonacci golden extension, which obviously you use at the 1.168 level, brings you to a $7,000 Ethereum. Now, I personally, this is my personal conviction, you guys will of course have to do your own research, think Ethereum can eclipse that. I think when you're heading into a Bitcoin ETF era, I'm going to keep talking about this Bitcoin spot ETF era because it brings in a whole new realm of liquidity into the market. And guess what happens when liquidity comes into the market? It has a taste of Bitcoin. And what happens to humans and investors once they've had a taste of Bitcoin? Think about the first time you tried playing around with crypto. It's probably Bitcoin, right? You probably got into a stable coin and got into Bitcoin or Ethereum or something like that. And then you go, hang on, Bitcoin's a bit boring, it's moving a bit slow. Where else can I go? Oh, Ethereum, right? And people start looking for the next big thing. And the next altcoin I'm going to talk about along that exact same line is my journey into crypto. I went Bitcoin, I saw Ethereum, and I was looking for what is going to be the next Ethereum. And at the time, if you guys were around, who was supposed to be the Ethereum killer? Cardano. And again, Cardano is one of those tokens which I want to be holding in my portfolio. I would not be comfortable if I did not have some Cardano in my portfolio. I would hate myself if after all these years, Cardano finally starts proving itself in the upper echelons and really starts competing with Ethereum. So again, this is not a small project. These are not small projects I'm talking about in this video. These are all huge projects. But when you're bringing in new money, remember, this whole bull market narrative is going to be around new money coming into the ecosystem, institutional money. Which are more likely to kind of get some of that money in? Ethereum, you can definitely argue why Ethereum could have institutional interest, and I think Cardano is another one of those which could get a lot of institutional adoption with higher net worth individuals. So Cardano is definitely another one which could start lobbying for some sort of a spot ETF, could start lobbying for some of that institutional money. Sitting here at 51 cents, again, remember, this was a project that ran as high as $3.16. Crazy to think you're still buying it at hugely retraced levels here on Cardano. Again, its Fibonacci golden ratio brings you to $2. You're looking at a 4x just to get to lower than its all-time high. I mean, for me, on big projects like that, these are the kind of risk to return investments I would want in my portfolio. Now, of course, if you're watching this video and you're playing around with small amounts of money, a 4x might not excite you, right? But if you keep getting in a habit, and I've spoken about this a lot in videos, where you only invest in small microcaps, you're going to keep getting yourself wrecked. You're never going to be able to put enough money with enough conviction in because you're constantly going for the next 100x, the next 1000x. Sometimes in your portfolio, in fact, in my opinion, all the time in your portfolio, you need your low risk, you need your medium risk, and you need your high risk. And so for me, the coins I'm talking about in this video are a very medium to low risk. I mean, if pure low risk is obviously stable coins and Bitcoin in my view, then you're looking at Ethereum, Cardano, and these ones kind of coming in next. So Cardano is definitely a one here which I would want to be adding. The next one's going to surprise some of you, and I've had an up and down relationship with this one. It's Solana. Yep, I gotta be still holding Solana. If you guys remember, I was very lucky to buy Solana at a really good cost basis back in the early 20s, right? But as in the price range around the $20 mark back then. Now, if you look at it, Cardano then really struggled post the FTX situation. But even before the whole Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX situation, this is all documented in my daily videos, I started falling out of love with Solana. I was really frustrated with Solana for their downtime. The technological downtime was not acceptable. And it was at that point that I started thinking, you know what? I'm not adding more to this. I didn't sell, when I said that in my videos, I didn't sell because I had a low cost basis. Had I had a higher cost basis, and had I been one of the people that was buying all the way up here in the FOMO up at $260, remember I was buying this less than $20, right? Had I been buying up there at 260, then I probably would have sold. I'll be honest with you guys. I was really out of kilter with this project and the amount of technical downtime they were having. That said, you can see them still proving people wrong now, right? And this is the thing. When you have a portfolio, I've said this time and time again, you want to have projects which move fast and break things. I put Solana in that category here, right? Reckless, fast, break things, but they're innovating. And that's why they got so much use cases and adoption after Ethereum. But then I still want the one which does it slow and methodical, which is why we just spoke about Cardano as well, right? I don't want all my portfolio to be chaos. I want some of the risky ones, which can move fast, and I want some of the safe ones, the kind of the tortoise and the hare, right? I want some tortoise action as well, okay? So that's one of the reasons why Solana, whilst I don't think that, you know, suddenly all their issues are resolved and it's a great technological stack, they've got high throughput, they've got good usability, they've got good adoption, and it's hard to bet against this type of project. So this is, again, another one which I would want to be holding, and I think they could also be in the running for getting a spot ETF. I think Solana, along with Ethereum and Cardano, and the next one I'm going to mention, are all candidates for getting a spot ETF. I think they can all lobby and start putting pressure on why they couldn't get a spot ETF. Maybe not straight away, maybe in 6 months, 1 year, or 2 years, who knows? It took Bitcoin a very, very long time, but they're in the running. And if one of these were to get a spot ETF, the alpha could be enormous, okay? So again, Solana is not one I would be sleeping on. Again, you can see it's already reached its 0.382 level, but really getting into that golden pocket gets you to 169 to 177 here on Solana. Again, considering if you're buying in some of these levels around 19 and 20, amazing risk to reward. I mean, even from now, 93 to kind of double up your money, fine, less exciting, but to get back to all-time highs here on Solana, 268, still a pretty decent risk to reward. Now, huge caveat with Solana. I mentioned this at the time as well. Huge caveat. There will be a lot of sell pressure on Cardano, on Solana. Please do not forget, Solana will have a lot of people sat on huge bags of Solana, and they're going to be waiting for the right time to dump. I'm talking billionaires, I'm talking VC funds, I'm talking huge money that bought Solana way cheaper than I. Forget our $19, $18 entries, like crazy amounts of money they were buying hugely cheap in the early days of Solana. They will be looking for a strategic level to dump. So do not be surprised to see Solana run into resistance areas where it struggles to get past this ceiling price, right? Because there is going to be a lot of sell pressure from people who at one point had written off their investment when Solana was struggling all the way down here at around that $8 mark. Okay, so that's an important one to remember in Solana. Okay, last but not least, guys, which altcoin am I going to be talking about? You guys are going to be shocked. XRP. XRP, I believe it or not, guys, I think is a huge front runner for potentially getting a spot ETF next as one of the altcoins which could get it. And so that completes my list. Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, and XRP. Those are the 4 coins. I think one of those will get the next spot ETF. Who knows when it will happen? I think it's going to be one of those. And you got to remember, up until the ruling with the judge, anybody who'd ask me about XRP, I'd have a very clear answer. I'd say to them, guys, I'm not interested in holding XRP. Not because I don't believe in the project. Not because I don't think they're going to win the case. Not because of any of this. It's just I can't invest in a project which is such a roulette play based on the decision of the SEC versus XRP case. It has nothing to do with the project. It's just I couldn't be in that roulette play. Now, had you been in the XRP army where you were holding in the early days and you continue to hold, I get why you'd be banging the drum for XRP. But as somebody, newer into it who wanted to go buy and add a new bag of XRP, there's no need for me to do that when there was an ongoing case there. It was too much of a roulette play for me to continue to DCA and add into XRP. But now, this is where the table changes, right? This is when you now look at it and say, hang on, XRP is now the only altcoin which has had a judge rule over it as to whether it's deemed a security or a commodity, right? We've had some, we've had obviously clarity on Bitcoin now being a spot ETF, and we've had some clarity on Ethereum, although we haven't had anything on Ethereum post ETH 2.0. So that could change the status of, how ETH is deemed as a commodity or security. But with XRP, we've actually got some clarity. So when we talk about all these other altcoins, like the ones we heard in the SEC versus Coinbase lawsuit, the 13 they listed in that lawsuit, right? They're all up in air. But at least XRP had a bit of clarity, right? And so straight away, XRP is put into the upper echelons because somebody has actually ruled on it, which is very, very interesting. So with that in mind, XRP continues to be one which I would want to hold going into this next cycle. I think they could be a huge candidate for a spot ETF. Again, you're looking at the Fibonacci golden ratio around that $1.20 to $1.25 mark, which is still about a 2.5x from where you're at now. Not too shabby risk to reward, but again, depends on when you started to average in here on XRP, guys. So there you have it, guys. 4 altcoins I would not be comfortable not holding right now leading into the bull market. Let me know, have I missed any? Of course, these are big projects. These are not small microcaps. If you want another version of this video with smaller or mid-cap coins, let me know in the comments below and I can get that spun up for you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to jump into our Telegram community where we're actively trading in this market. I'm actively trading altcoins right now. ijazcrypto.com/TG. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.